Preparing brunch at home is a really easy thing to do if you have a convection oven, because you can put multiple things in the oven and cook them at the same time. For my convection brunch, I've made a green chili cheese casserole. This is one of the most popular dishes I have made over the last 13-14 years. People just seem to love this combination of green chilies and cheese, and it's so easy to make. I like to cook bacon in the oven as an alternative to the cooktop, especially when you have quite a lot of bacon to cook. We all know that there's quite a high fat content to bacon, and that fat renders when we're cooking it, and it can splatter on the cooktop, and well, it can be dangerous to handle really hot grease. So doing it in the oven is a good alternative. Scones are a delicious treat to make at home. When you bake at home, you have control over the ingredients you're using. You can add more healthy items to it, like a little bit of wheat germ, a little bit of bran. So there's many good reasons why you should cook a brunch at home. The best thing though is because we're using convection, we can cook the whole meal at one time. Let me show you how. So here we've assembled all the ingredients that we're going to be using today. We have our egg casserole here. Now the egg casserole is going to take about 40 minutes to cook. And realistically, you want to allow about 10 minutes cooling time before you start eating. The peach drop scones will take about 15 minutes to cook. But again, baked items should also rest for 5 to 10 minutes before you devour them. The bacon will take about 20 minutes to cook, 20 to 25. So we'll start off by putting the egg casserole in the oven. We'll set the timer for 25 minutes. And when that timer has elapsed, we'll add in the scones and the bacon. The recipe temperature for cooking the casserole is 350 degrees. The recipe temperature for the scones is 375. But because we're using a convection mode, which enables us to cook on multiple racks at one time, we have to reduce the recipe temperature for the scones by 25 degrees. The bacon is actually fine at 350, which is a nice moderate heat, because if the temperature is too high, bacon renders a lot of fat and we don't want it spitting all over the oven. So to cook this meal, I've chosen the convection bake mode, which is giving me heat from the top and the bottom, and the convection fan is evenly circulating the heat. I've set the temperature to 350. Now, a wonderful feature of the Masterpiece oven is the info feature. When you touch info, it will remind you what each mode is most suitable to use for cooking. And even more important, it tells you what rack positions to use. Rack positions can be really important, so be sure to follow the recommendations in your user guide. Remember, the reason I was able to cook all these foods at one time was because I used a convection mode. Now, what's really important when you cook an entire meal at one time in the oven is planning. I knew that the egg casserole would take at least 35 to 40 minutes to cook, and that I should rest it for at least 10 minutes before serving it. I knew that the scones would take 15 to 20 minutes to cook, and again, they require a little bit of resting time. And the bacon also took about 15 minutes. So if you plan out your meals, check your rack positions, everything can go very, very smoothly, and you can easily cook a delicious meal like this without any stress at all.